baby.
Down in the studio, the mics are all hot. The Southern Fried Airways, a radio spot. Mayhem on the mic, the man with the plan. Got his amigos with him, a rockin' radio band. First up is TJ, with a guitar in his hand, slanging out the riffs across the Dixie land. Oh, the Southern Fried Crew, loud and proud and true. With TJ, Mr. Smalls, Rhino and Stain, they see it through. Oh! Mayhem's Amigos, a brotherhood of sound. Best radio show for miles around. Then you got Mr. Smalls on the bass so deep, holding down the rhythm while the city sleeps. Got the low end rumble that makes the floor shake. Nothing but the music, for goodness sake. Rhinos on the drums keep the beat in time. Every crash and every rhythm a perfect rhyme. A powerhouse behind the kid, making sure it's tight, keeping the energy high all through the night. And they're staying on the other guitar with a style so fine. Adding his flavor of rock and roll sound, from blues to heavy rock. He can make it all sing, a fiery hot lick. He's the king of the string. For the Southern Fried Crew, loud and proud and true. With TJ, Mr. Smalls, Rhino and Stain, they see it through. Mayhem's Amigos, a brotherhood of sound. Best radio show for miles around. Oh, the Southern Fried Crew, loud and proud and true. With TJ, Mr. Smalls, Rhino and Stain, they see it through. Mayhem's Amigos, a brotherhood of sound. Best radio show for miles around. So turn up the dial, let the music play loud. The Southern Fried Boys are standing tall in the crowd. Mayhem's Amigos on the radio, yeah, rocking all night long, without a single care.
Welcome to Mayhem's Amigos, the Amigos After Dark Thursday night edition. I am TJ. I am alone tonight. Currently, Rhino's got a bunch of stuff going on. Stain's on vacation and getting his hiatus to get his head together. Smalls is listening to a lecture and probably be bored to death. And I'm just, I'm doing my thing, right? So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of the show tonight. Thank you for lighting up our chat room and being a part of it. If you like what you hear and you're checking out our archives, please hit the subscribe button, like us, get your alerts, make sure you can log in when we're here. Sylvia, I see you. Thank you for joining. Welcome to the program. Man, what a night. I'll tell you what. So this week, now, as you guys know, I took like a mental health weekend. I got the hell out of here. I went west. I saw some friends. I hung out. I'm going to get more into that here in a little bit. I get back. Monday, I go into work. All right, I took my break, got my head straight, go back to work, right? And yeah, no, wasn't worth a damn. Right out of the gate, 14-hour day. Next day, I go in. Okay, well, all right, maybe that was just Volk, I understand, buddy. I'm happy you jumped in. That Volkster always has something to keep me laughing. And I'm probably not going to be on long tonight myself, but I'm going to explain that as we go along here. Tuesday, go in again. Okay, well, maybe it'll be a little easier. It was a little easier. It was only a 13-hour day. So right there, I'm at 25 hours for the week. I hadn't even made it to Wednesday yet. Yesterday was finally an easier day. I got the hell out of Dodge. Today is why it's probably going to be a short show for me tonight. I had to take my uncle into the hospital this morning. What was supposed to be a routine procedure for him, his what they call the widowmaker artery, they found a 95% blockage in that artery. Mama got pranks, it says. Welcome. Hey, how you doing? So they found a 95% blockage in my uncle's artery. Immediately slammed stent down in it. Popped it loose. What's going on? And got his blood flowing again, thank God. Due to the time constraints that I had because of different things that I have going on, not to mention going to work tomorrow, they decided to keep him overnight for observation. He wasn't clotting like we would expect. Every time they tried to pull the air out and say, well, say what? Say Lily if I see your text. I'm seeing your text. So yeah, my uncle, like I said, they had to put a stent in his heart today in the widowmaker artery. Kept him overnight for observation. I'm back home. I obviously, as you guys could see, kind of catching the Houston game as we're watching here, up 20-16 at the half, and that was an out of left field. Like I did not expect that, but I'm happy. If Houston can win it, I'm going to be ecstatic. I love my Texans. They're fun. Hi, Cindy Council on the Facebook side. So I've got a couple of things that are going on right now. And, speaking of my trip out west, I went out there. Of course, I had a great time. I saw a lot of friends. I met some political people that I didn't expect to meet in the area. And just, I could probably say Suey, but I'm not going to. So while I was out there, ran into a very near and dear friend of mine, and which you YouTubers, you know him as NJ Courts. And known this guy for years and years and years. Oh, that's your real name? Okay, that's awesome. So his NJ Courts and I go back many, many years. All the way back to when we were. Oh, it's Ronaldo. Okay. All right, so it's not like Suey. Rick Wallace, welcome. Glad you're here. Hope you're enjoying as I'm trying to explain some of the stuff that's going on here. So when I ran into NJ, we'll just say NJ, which is kind of weird for me. We went and we checked out the stone rows that were out in the desert. And it's not something you normally see, right? So we checked it out. I did a little research on my own, and I want him to come on the show here and follow up with me about it so we can talk about it. I talked to him yesterday, actually, and we discussed it. And I don't know when it's going to happen. We're going to try to nail it down. It's going to be within the next couple of weeks. But Mayhem's Amigos is going to simulcast one of the Thursday night shows, not only to Southern Fried Radio like we normally do, but also to NJ Court's channel and kind of help get us out there and let you guys know what we're all about and get in on the fun. And we're gonna talk a little bit about these stone rows while we're at it. I gotta adjust this with the. I'm checking out two different angles of how this is working. It's Swee. Oh, okay. Swee is easy to figure out. Come on, Texans. Bear with me as I get distracted a little bit by the game. It's up here on my big screen, obviously. So yeah, that's I'm looking forward to the simulcast and getting back with NJ and then maybe talking about some of the stuff, not getting into major details, but talking about some of the stuff from the past, like going up to the lake and going boating. And another friend of ours and I mean, we were taller than him, obviously, and we outswam him and we got onto the boat. And both of us, because we'd been drinking all day, it kind of tends to be a pastime around here. We realized that we had to pee. So we turn around and we pee. We didn't realize that NJ was in the water swimming his way back to the boat. And in the process, he kind of got like a golden shower getting back to the boat. He climbs up on the boat with the words, I'm going to get my hands. We take off and run to the bow of the boat, and we dive back off the boat and back into the water and swim away from him because it's like, all right, we can outrun him, we can outswim him. And I know I can outdrink him. So we're good. The guy is still one of my best friends in the world. I have so many good memories with that guy. Drink a couple, Mikey. I will always drink a couple for you. I have not had. I was actually explaining that I have not had a good day actually, because I spent most of the day at the hospital with my uncle. Now, right now, I just found out from the hospital that they have moved him up to his room. And he'll be there overnight. My uncle went in for a routine angioplasty. So what that is they run a catheter in the heart. And they were just checking for blockages, checking for plaques. They're trying to see what was going on. And when they got to his what they call the widowmaker artery, where if that one gets clogged and he has a heart attack, he's got about an 8% chance of living from that heart attack. Mike knows about this. We've talked about heart stuff a lot. All right, sweet. Have a good night. Thank you for tuning in. So when they found it, it was 95% blocked. Got the stent in, busted it open. They're keeping him overnight. I pick him up tomorrow after I get off of work. So I got to go into work early tomorrow. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Sweet saying that he hopes I have a good day tomorrow. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. You guys, the listeners, you guys that subscribe, you guys are the reason I keep doing this. There it is. Mike says it very pointedly. That it is definitely serious. The widowmaker's not something to play with. So they found 95% block in that. There is another artery that still has a 75% block. And they want to do that at a later date. So we're going to have to figure that all out and schedule it and make sure that, he could get in and get out and then I can get him home and I'm not constraining my time. Was staying out of town on Southern Friday. I filled in for him Tuesday night. So the 2 nights that I had to be on Southern Fried Radio doing a show, other than tonight, I was later than hell getting in to do the show. I mean, poor Rhino, he had to cover for me until almost 8:00 on Monday night, which, as you guys are well aware, if you listen to me on Southern Fried, that's unusual. I always try to make my shows on time because, listeners and fans, you guys mean a lot to me and you're the reason I keep going for this. And as Mike will tell you, I mean, I've had 2 listeners and I keep doing a show because the listeners and the viewers, you mean the world to me and your support means the world to me. And I continue to do it because I love what I do. And you guys really make it worthwhile by being active in the chat room and subscribing and checking us out and making sure we're going. I mean, I can't take away from that. It's the last couple of weeks have been pretty rough. Um, there's been a lot of stuff going on personally that I've been having to deal with. There's been some professional stuff that I've been dealing with, and taking that break and leaving and going out west like I did was a necessity. I'm very happy I did it. I wish I would have come back to work and not been thrown in the fray immediately upon arrival. I mean, give me a day. Let me have an easy day and kind of guide my way back in before you throw the book at me. And I wish, I think that's something that employers should really look at, because people, this is going to be me kind of stepping in and advocating a little bit about something that it means something to me. And I think it's something that people should really pay attention to. Okay. I, I'm a very firm believer in mental health and maintaining mental health. That's why I'm starting college this spring and I'm going for my psychology degree, because mental health is something that we really need to pay attention to, and we don't. And I think employers are starting to get the idea, but they're not quite there yet. Mental health is something that we need to be able to take a break for. If a person revolves their entire life around working and around the career, they're doing it for reasons, but eventually becomes their whole world, and it absorbs and consumes them. Which is why I believe, like, these mental health breaks, like I took last weekend, they're a necessity. And they're a necessity because if we don't take that break, one, mental wear will wear you down faster than anything else. Proven fact. Because if the brain is not operating at top capacity, it doesn't know how to tell the body to operate at the same capacity. Two, you have less chance of workplace drama, and in certain cases, maybe workplace violence, even because you wear down somebody mentally, then their faculties are not there. And they're going to go in and they're going to end up doing something, and it's going to be drastic and it's not going to be good. So we need to do something to prevent those kind of things from happening. And I'm a very big advocate for mental health break. You got to have it. Go reset, recharge your batteries, take an extended weekend, come back when you're ready. But this is where the employer needs to understand. Come back when you're ready does not mean come back and we're going to throw you to the wolves and make you chew 2 long days. We're going to come on back in, work your regular shift, call it a day, get out of here. Take a couple of days and go ease your way back in until you're back in the fray. And I don't think employers really get that. All right, so as most of you guys know, I'm a CDL truck driver by trade. That's what I do. It's even more important that I get that break. Yeah, Mike says it right here. He said, "Yes, sir, you are totally right. And yes, you have to take a break if you are not going to blow up and could end up in a straitjacket or do something to themselves or something else that's going to be costly in your life." Exactly my point. Exactly my point. Your mental health is not anything to play with. And that's why, when different people who have been on the program at different times have said, "Hey, I need that mental health break. I gotta clear my head. I gotta get it straight again." Okay, go take the break. I'm not a fan of using that as a way to do something behind my back. That really does jerk my chain because I mean, I am upfront and apparent and transparent with everybody. And the first thing I tell everybody is I'm a dick. Plain and simple, I'm a dick. If I think it's funny, I'm going to have fun with it. But I'm upfront about that. And I've also told people I'm a dick, but I'm a fair dick. I will tell anybody your family is first. Your mental health is with your family because you got to be there for them. We're not getting paid for this. We're having fun with this. So whatever you've got to do to make sure that you're set and ready, then go do it. But if you want to do something else, don't hide it. Talk to me. And I'm going to go, well, all right, Mike, I appreciate that sentiment. Don't ask Steve. He'll tell you, no, I'm just a dick naturally. But I've got some guiding principles. Like I don't hide what I'm doing. Yeah, somebody pulls my chain, and yes, I'm definitely a dick. um, don't hide what you're doing from me. If you want to do something, then do it. And I'm gonna be like, cool, all right, have fun. Maybe this wasn't the right setup. I get it. It happens. To hide it and run around behind my back and expect me not to find out. Okay, come on, folks. I'm former military police. I've investigated shit. I'm going to find out. And that's bogus. Oh, what's the flag on? I'm not liking this. No, it can't be on Anderson. No. Ooh. Yeah, they got him. Damn it. Will Anderson Jr.'s had a hell of a game tonight. So anyway, back to what I was saying. I don't hide what I'm up to. And I will tell people what I'm doing. And I'm upfront about it because I don't see a reason to hide it. I'm starting school soon. That's very important to me. I cannot wait to get in there and actually get the degree to back up what we already know, and that's that I'm not stupid, which a lot of people seem to think I am. And I just, that's one of those things that's like, if you're not happy with me, say it. I don't care. You're not going to hurt my feelings. It helps to not have feelings. Those kind of get in the way of being able to do different things that that I like to do. I will give Steve all the credit in the world. He came to me. He's like, "Hey, man, I've got this new girlfriend," which great, good for him. I hope that lasts. He's like, "I've got all these other shows I'm doing. I need the break so I could focus on a few things at least until the first of the year." I'm like, "Take it, relax, chill out. That's cool, great. You always got a seat here. Let me know when you're ready to come back." And he sent me the big thumbs up and said, "Thank you." And I was sincere with that. Adam has been on extended leave. He's been on extended leave because his family, right before he took his leave, kind of exploded. And he's been dealing with a lot there. And I understand that. And I don't take away from it. And I've said, look, you have to take care of yours. So do what you got to do. You always have a seat when you want to come back. And I'll be extremely happy when Adam can return. I'm looking forward to that day. In the meantime, we've got Smalls and we've got Rhino. And Smalls is going to school and working 2 jobs and trying to get some things finished for his life. And I'm excited for that. Rhino owns Southern Fried Radio, and he's built it from the ground up. Uh, Thank you, Mike. Um, like I said, Rhino owns and runs Southern Fried Radio. He built it from the ground up, and it's great. I listen to the station a lot during the workday. I may not comment in the chat, but I do listen, and I do because there's always music on there that I enjoy, and it helps me get through the day. Um, there's I listen to different podcasts that are out there. There are some that I probably should, but I don't listen to them, and I have my reasons behind that, and I kind of just keep them to myself. And I do that because it's not fair. It's not fair for me to go and roll somebody under the bus, and I won't do that. Every once in a while, I'll tune in to Chris's show on Asgard Radio, and I listen to that. Chris has always got a seat whenever he wants to come back here. Anytime, any day of the week. All he's got to do is say the word. I'd be happy to have him back. Chris and I have had some great times on the air together. We've had a couple of them where we blew up at each other, but we step back and we think about it and we talk about it. And just like brothers, we always come back and we go, yeah, we're pretty damn strong together. And maybe we need the break from each other, and then we could come back and do something great again. And we've done that multiple times. There's always something that's there. So yeah, the mental health breaks are needed. The understanding of the people you're working with is always something that you have to have. And obviously, family, friends, career, everything. We can all get bogged down with everything that's going on in our lives any day of the week. We're all good at it. It happens. I encourage each and every one of you tonight, because I am going to make this a short show because I do have to go to bed. So I'm going to encourage everyone as kind of my closing this evening to take that time, sit back, look around, evaluate the things that are important to you, evaluate the people that are important to you, and make sure you have your priorities in line. Because at the end of the day, we're going to go out the same way we came in. And the only thing that we are going to leave behind for any type of a legacy is how we've impacted the people we care about the most. Were we a good impact? Like when your favorite football team just creams the quarterback in a sack, good impact? Or are we a bad impact on those people that we care about? Kind of like an impacted bowel. And then you're sitting there trying to pull the crusty, flaky shit out one flake at a time when your bowel's impacted. Are we like that? Or is that who we are to that person that we care about? And if we're the latter, that's a toxic relationship. It's time to move on. The only thing we're going to leave behind as far as legacy goes is what we have done with the people that we care about. And I try to do my best every day to give them the best advice, the best feelings, the best where I'm at, and the people I care about the most. Yeah, get your poop knife, Cindy says. The people I care about the most. I always try to give them my best, even when I'm not feeling up to it. and I don't try to turn to them for much. Maybe an ear, somebody to talk to once in a while. That's all I really, really, truly look for. Would I love to have all of us back together again? Absolutely. I'd love to have everybody in the same area again. But my catch is with a lot of those people that don't live around me moving back to those areas, wherever they may be, in my mind is a step backwards because I've been there. I've experienced that. I'm happy I have those experiences. They're part of what shaped me and make me who I am. To go there is taking a gigantic step backwards. And I'm not a fan of going in reverse. I want to stay focused on what's ahead and I want to move forward. And most people that are around me believe I'm a dick. And I say I am because I can be really crass with people, but they believe I'm a dick mainly because I have that drive to continuously improve, continuously move forward, and continuously do better. And there are sacrifices that I have to make along the way sometimes to make that happen. Coming up here, January 3rd will be 3 years. 3 years ago, I moved to Central Texas, and I'm very happy here. And if I hadn't, I wouldn't have had the experiences that I've had since moving back. And I found a great middle of the road area for different places that I've lived and the ability to go back. But to go back and visit. And those trips are not just a chance to see friends and loved ones and be together again, which we don't get very often. They are also an opportunity for me to see the changes and know that when I made the decision to leave, that was the correct decision for me at that time and still remains that way. And I go back and I see things that I left. And there are things that are very positive in all areas that I miss. But there's also some tough memories in a lot of those areas too that helped make that decision to move forward. And I can't take that away at any cost. You guys have heard me say this a couple of times, so I'm going to say it. This is about where we're going to wrap this up tonight. One of my biggest sayings with people is complacency, contentment, they are the enemies of success. If you are content with where you are at, you are comfortable, and it will breed complacency. And that complacency will not allow you to reach your true potential. When you hit that stagnation, you're done. And if you're content in that stagnation, you will never step ahead. I'm living proof of that. And here's where the story comes in. It was early 2011. And I was living in southern New Mexico. I went to a couple of friends' wedding. I had just finished up everything a few months earlier with my DUI, and I went to this wedding with another friend of mine. I jumped in his pickup with him, and we went. We got bombed at the wedding and got back into the truck. We drove to his house. And when we got there, we we each got 3 fingers of some very good whiskey, and we got a cigar. And we grabbed a couple of lawn chairs, and we sat out with those cigars and the whiskey out in front of his garage like a couple of hillbillies. Smoked the cigars, drank the whiskey, and we talked. And I ended up leaning forward after we got through our laughter part of our discussion, where we did laugh a lot. And I said, I've been considering returning to where I was raised. And I explained my reasons. And he leans up and he goes, "You know what? You're one of my best friends." And I nodded and he goes, "I'm going to say something that's going to hurt me because I know it's going to jolt you." I said, "Okay." He goes, "I don't want you to leave, but you have to go. If you have a chance of doing anything above and beyond what you're doing now, you have to go." He goes, "You're stagnant here. You're constantly struggling." And he's like, "It's only a matter of time before something happens that's going to send you over the edge. You have to leave." And I really took that to heart. he he made a good point. So I ended up returning to where I was raised. And it was literally the single best decision I could have made. Now, don't get me wrong. The results from that were not pretty. I could think of in that time frame, I could think of a handful, and it is a small handful of good times. The rest of it, I could have done. I would have been much happier being stagnant and struggling than going back and dealing with that. The day my son was born, the day I got my CDL, believe it or not, the day I married my ex-wife. But that's equal with the day our divorce was final. As bad as that sounds. But I think my happiest day living back there was actually the day I started the truck and I left. Because I was never really happy there. And that is the perfect example of that complacency. You get into a comfort zone and you hit that complacency and you just keep going and going and going. And you know you can do something, but most people don't. Most people stay right where they're at and they don't do anything. And I I'm one of the few that stepped outside of the lines and I go, "No, I'm not going to stay here. I'm not going to be roped in. I'm not going to be stuck. I'm going to move forward." So probably other than the day my son was born and obviously like the day we got him out of NICU and the day he was finally out of the hospital for good, um other than those times with my son and a couple of decent, getaways and different stuff that I've done with friends and family up there. Um, my true happiest day is probably the day I started the U-Haul truck and I drove out of the park or out of my driveway up there and I made the permanent move here. And for those of you that know me, like Mike and Cindy and some of the others who followed my shows for years, you know that I was already making trips here. I had been making trips here for 2 years, a couple of times a year, maybe more, to kind of get an idea if I really wanted this area to be my home, and grew to really love it, grew to appreciate it, and said, "Yeah, this is where I want to be." And the thing I love about this area is the ever-changing landscape. And it's impossible here to ever be complacent and to ever be content because there's always something else. And that I truly do appreciate about where I live. And no, that it was not, no, 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 it was not rage, Mike. Um, that person was in a completely different part of the country. I was living in southern New Mexico, and that individual, I have talked about him a couple times on the show, but I'm not going to bring up his name right now. And he is, yeah, this was a friend of mine in southern New Mexico before I left. So you get the idea. Now, I've seen it, and Mike brings up a great example, Rage being an example of somebody who had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity handed to him on a silver platter. Please do something with your life. He's like, no, dude, I like it right where I'm at, and I'm going to stay here and I'm going to wrestle, man. Ultimately, about coming up about this time, well, right at Christmas time, it'll be a year, and Rage passed. And he passed, from glioblastoma, a very aggressive brain cancer. He was one of my closer friends. Even though I called him a fucking moron half the time, he was one of my closer friends. And I miss him every day. Christmas Day is a year and we lost Marvin. I mean, there's some tough. Yeah, you got it. What's happening, Jay? If you're going to be awake in about a couple more minutes before I end the show, I may give you a buzz. But yeah, there's just so much that I have friends that are back there. I have relatives that are back in different places, and never trade any of them for anything, ever. But for me, cool. For me, I had to make that decision, and I had to pull the trigger, and I had to leave. And it was one of the best decisions I've ever made because now I'm in an area that is ever changing. There's always something happening, and it's impossible here to be complacent. And it's impossible here to be content because you always see something that you want to improve on. So with that, I implore every one of you tonight, please aim for what can make you great. Even if it's great in your own circle, aim for it. Go for it. Grab it. Do whatever it takes. Don't be complacent. True. I will not disagree with you, Jay. You're right. Jay says some people are untrustworthy, and their lifestyle is shisty. Yeah, absolutely. I have no problem with anybody that's Mexican at all. I love the Mexican people, actually. There was a group that when I lived in southern New Mexico, there was a Mexican family uh, that had pretty much adopted me, and that was the Montoya family, and I loved them, and I still love them to this day. Um, as a matter of fact, I actually I got Mama's Montoya's tamale recipe, and I'm gonna try to broaden my horizons a little bit. And please don't get mad at me if I screw this up, but I am actually going to read the directions, and I am going to attempt for the first time in my life to make not only homemade maza, but homemade tamales for the first time. I'm actually getting everything together here in the next couple of weeks, and I'm going to stink up my coach with tamale meat and just get myself blown on out of here with just how good it's going to smell. No, Mexican people are always near and dear to my heart. And I absolutely love them. The culture is amazing. Uh, there's so much history and depth within the Mexican culture, and anyone who just wants to be prejudiced over that, they're absolutely wrong, and I'll tell them that they're wrong. But with that being said, I want to thank you everyone for tuning in. Remember, if you like the show, hit the subscribe button on the YouTube side, get your alerts, or like the Facebook page, whatever you've got to do. I've got to get some rest. I will catch you guys on Sunday night at 4 p.m. Central Time for Mayhem's Amigos. Hopefully, we'll have the whole crew together and we'll have a great time. Keep yourselves positive. Take that mental health time. And always, always, always do your best to be the best you that you can be. I'm TJ. Thank you for tuning in. Good night, everybody.